Let me take you over to my amazing map. Shadridge regional map. Here we go. Look at this amazing art skills here. You were from, well, you're not from there. You were from the wilderness because you're an outlander. You went to the town of Shadridge, which is a very small town on the southern edge of this this forest called Fair Woods. And while you were in this Shadridge town, you were resupplying yourself with some goods, and you heard that there was something holding up the usual supply of mead from the local apiary. So you investigated that apiary, and then you found the farmer there dead. He'd been killed by goblins, and you tracked the goblins deep into the woods until eventually you found the goblin camp, GC, and at the goblin camp you dispatched of the goblins. To cut a long story short, you discovered there was an elven village nearby called Helwren that had recently been attacked by the goblins, so you went there to help them rebuild. While you were there, they said, "I don't think our sister villagers know about the goblins. We should warn them." And you went, "Oh, yeah, we should definitely warn them if there's sister villagers in the area." So you went up here to Mwinglofau, which is a mining village of drow elves. Dark elves like to live underground because they've got sunlight sensitivity, superior dark vision. And you warned them. They said, "Thanks for letting us know." And then you went across. You ignored Arachel because they are racist assholes, effectively, and they hate anything outside of elves. They even hate other elves for the most part. They're just very uppity, snooty bastards. You ignored Arachel and you went to Dolbin Ilawad just as it was being ransacked by the goblins, and you managed to dispatch of the goblins and the ogre. You helped them with their harvest of the Prin flowers, a particular type of special magical flower that grows only blooms only on full moon. You spent a few days with them, and then you went back to the goblin camp, and you set off north, following some tracks out of the goblin camp, thinking, maybe the goblins were working for somebody. And you followed these tracks to about here, before you went, "We should tell Mwinglofau what we've found so far," and a bunch of other reasons for going there too. So you took a 2-hour detour over here to get to Mwinglofau. You told them what you knew, and then you set off back. On the first hour back to your tracks, it was uneventful. But on the second hour, you started to smell some sort of strange pollen in the air. Something was some sort of creature was releasing pheromones that was attracting others of its kind. But before you knew what it was, you were in this clearing and you saw a little bunny rabbit hop up to a little bush. And as it started nibbling from the bush fought back, stuck its little twiglets through the eyes of the bunny rabbit and started clawing at its face, and it came alive, and this bush became a twig blight, a tiny little humanoid looking collection of dried out wood, feasting on this bunny rabbit and sucking its blood. At the same time, the tree that had been following you flung its needles at you and started a fight, and you were now fighting a pine tree, a couple of pine trees, and a bunch of these twig blights, needle blights and twig blights. And you had a pretty hard time of it. Your companion Mel here, she went to 0 while she was flying, and so she dropped to the ground, bam, hit pretty hard, and she ruptured her insides. She got what is called a lingering injury. She has internal bleeding. And what that means for her is that anytime she takes an action in combat, there's a chance that she will just do nothing with her turn instead, as she is in pain. And then we finally managed to succeed the fight just. We were on a few hit points, and so was she. But we made it through the fight. And then we had a short rest in this area while we burned the remains of the twig blights, and we made sure that nobody else was coming for us. We rubbed one of our 6 uses of the Prin salve on our bee companion, and as it soaked in, it helped to stem some of the internal bleeding. She's still going to have the issue. In order to get rid of the issue, she needs to have 7 days of nothing but resting, effectively. She can eat, drink, read, listen, talk. She can sort of walk along the ground, fly a little bit maybe. But nothing that counts as adventuring or exploration or anything dangerous. As long as she does that for an entire day, she can make a check to see if she can recover from this lingering injury. We can apply this Prin salve as often as once every 6 hours. And every time we apply it, we reduce the need for one more day of rest. Currently, she needs 7 days of rest. If in 6 hours' time we apply it again, she'll only need six days of rest, and so on.